Okay. Yeah, they were flying. Everybody looked pretty strong coming out the front of the hives, and so that's good. This coming weekend is when I'll be doing my um, OAV.
Yeah, Tom, I've got more than my fair share of them.
Hey, Tom, Melissa. So that all looked good. I did that little bit of a short video, and hey, Kim, and Tetron. And we got Bill and we got Mike and we got who else we got in here? We got Jack and Danette
All right, Kimberly.
and Ben and Randy.
Yeah.
And that's about it for right now.
Yeah.
I just
It's
went
all
ahead
right.
and simulcast, so maybe somebody else will be coming in.
You never know.
So anyway, that's what's been happening here. I didn't get out and I was kind of tempted to kind of get into them, but I said no, just leave them alone. And
Yeah.
I mean, I know that they're well fed. I know that a lot of people have been, um, you know, lifting hives and that kind of stuff at all. And, they're on the lighter side. I presume they didn't feed heavy in
Yeah.
September, October. They are more on the mindset of feeding through the winter, and which I don't do unless it's, I'll check them around February
Yeah.
and that kind of
Well, the
stuff.
hives, we put AP tablets on all the hives, and all of them were gone. So we put more AP tablets on.
You did.
Yep. So they had sucked those things down.
Yeah. So you must have got into them then, or they were, hey, Matt.
Yeah, we
Hey,
opened up
Tom.
lids and everything before we treated, just to see where the clusters were and see what stores look like. They all look good. Um, Good clusters. I mean, you open the lid up, and bees are coming out of the top. So we
Yeah.
treated.
Pretty much all my highs up and down the line. I mean, they had a wad of, I mean, they'd been locked up for about 7 to 10 days. And they were coming out, and I don't know what you call cleansing flights, but they are, I'll say some of them might have been orientation flights.
Yeah.
And there was a good cluster at a 4-inch opening there on the landing board, along with a lot of them. They were all out into the air when I was taking that video, and I was kind of getting head butted, by the bees and stuff. And
Yeah.
so I had one, I don't know, there was one hive, I don't know, second or third to the last one down on the road. It had activity and everything, but it just didn't have the volume of bees. Maybe they were just, I don't know, maybe they were just weak, or they just, hey, hope. And they just didn't come out or not. I'm not sure on that one.
They might have been a little chilly. You never know.
True. And there's Mike.
Hey, Tom.
And all that. But um, yeah, it just I see Mike's coming on my side of the chat. I mean, um, Mike Seeley.
Yeah.
Mike, if you want to, you can also subscribe to Bill's channel here, Bees All Day, which is on
Every little
YouTube.
bit helps.
Every little bit helps. That way you get a direct link to his. But so anyway, that's what I seen on mine, and they were active and all. I didn't go, like, say, open any of them up. I didn't want to break any seals, and just letting you know, Mike. That's it. And uh, so I just I didn't want to break the seals, and I didn't want to disturb as far as the insulation thing that I've got going on there.
Yeah.
And everything.
Yep.
And all that. And Tom's going to be there by noon on the 1st.
Yeah, that'd be good. That we'll be in there probably early morning on the 1st, setting up.
So are you arriving in Louisville on the 30th?
31st.
31st, whatever the date is.
Yep.
31st.
Yep. We're leaving
something.
Virginia at about 4:30 in the morning. And
On
coming
what-
across West Virginia.
And what day is that? On the 31st or?
On the 31st.
Okay.
We're going to drive straight through.
And all that. All right, Via Honeybees. Tom is going to be there by midday. Hey, David. Yeah, I'm not sure whether we're we're definitely going to leave on a 31st, maybe travel halfway there or better than halfway, and then come in on the 1st.
Hey, Matt and Sandy.
All that. So, okay. You just have your booth area to be set up?
Yeah.
Okay. So, yeah, it's quicker than what you thought, I'll tell you. And we thought about maybe, depending on the weather conditions, if it's, hopefully we're not calling for anything that week.
Yeah, you and me both. I've been trying to find, weather a little ahead so I could make some definite plans. You know what I mean?
Let's see, monthly. Well, it's for here, it's 55 degrees, Louisville, Kentucky, 56, 57 degrees. A little bit of rain on Tuesday. And then actually it says here that it should be in the 50s throughout the whole weekend, close to 60. That'll be nice.
Yeah, going to Beckley, they're calling for rain in Beckley on the 30th and 31st.
Yeah, that's what they're saying, but I don't see how they can't get it right in the next 4 days, let alone 3 weeks.
I'm just looking at the extended forecast, that's all.
That's what I'm looking at. So that's what's happening in the bee world. So what'd you say? You dug into the hive some, or as far as where'd you put your Appy tab? My Appy tablets would be between.
We put them on top.
Put them on top of the deep box.
On top of the top super.
Okay.
And we didn't dig into them. We just pulled the lids and looked down in them.
So
Put
did you have
flashlight
bees
down there.
all up top?
Oh yeah, I had bees everywhere. Those Nell hives, they're just boiling out of the tops of them.
Well, yeah, sure, yeah. Are you got all Enel now?
No,
You still-
half of my hives are Nell, the other half are wood.
Hey, Matt.
So next year, I'm planning on switching them all over to them. So
Yeah. Hey, Matt.
yeah, you're right, Mac. They can't forecast a day ahead.
Yeah. Matt, you're coming in on my side of the channel. You can also, and there's Rick Sutton there.
Yeah.
Hey, Rick. Where are you at now, Rick? Are you in Florida or still out in Kentucky? I presume you're in Florida where it's warm. Of course, it is warm here.
Yeah, it's warm here too. Can't beat it.
Nothing much, Rick. We just kind of, this is Bill's channel called Bees All Day. And he's down there off of 81 in Virginia. And we were checking hives because it was warm Sunday, 60 degrees. Bees were flying. Oh, you're down in Florida. Okay. And hopefully you're getting some kind of a crop down there right now. I'm not sure about that in Florida. But so that's what we're happening here, just kind of a chit chat. If you want to join us, go right ahead.
Yep. Right
I know.
in.
I know if I've asked you that, Rick, and all. I actually was looking at one of your videos. You were doing a presentation at some local bee club. Might have been out in Kentucky someplace about bottom boards, and I forget just what it was about and all that. Hey, Keith.
How's it going, Keith?
And all that. So, but like I say, they all look good and fine for right now. What I did was I put those tablets in between the top box and the middle box. They did jack up the frames a little bit, but last time I looked in there, nothing's blooming in Florida. So you're got the bees wintering in Florida. That's a question there. Hey, Mark. Rick, if there's nothing really blooming, is there any, like nectar? I'm sure there's probably some pollen, but is there any food sources for your bees to be able to bring in and, since you don't have to feed them and stuff? What's Mark doing? Are you, I guess you're on the road, I guess, truck and driving, I presume, Mark. And all that. Mark, he is a very good queen producer out there. Works with a little bit. He kind of works in conjunction with Corey Stevens.
Okay.
But he would come on my chat and he was, I guess, grafting about 40 some cells per hive. And there's Ryan. Hey, Ryan. And hey, Ryan, why don't you come on in? A Southern Maryland beekeeper. Hey, Sarah.
He's working.
Oh, okay. He's a lineman. All right. So, Rick, you say there's Pauline. The only food source this time of year will be sugar surf. What is that?
Sugar syrup.
Oh, syrup.
Yeah, you missed the key.
Oh, okay. All right.
So how early can you do splits in Florida? Rick.
Yeah, Mark, I'm on bees all day, so I'm just simulcasting this. If you can see the StreamYard in bees all day. Hey, Sandy.
I can post the link on here.
Huh?
I can post the link on here.
The link's there, isn't it?
Yeah, but I can post the links on YouTube. Well, they're on YouTube though, aren't they?
They're coming in off of my channel.
Yeah.
But I'm not sure.
They'd have to search my YouTube to get the link to come in the StreamYard.
Yeah, go to bees all day. I don't know how I would do that.
I got it. For all you that are simulcasting through Charlie, here's the YouTube link. And then the YouTube, the StreamYard link is pinned at the top of the YouTube.
Yeah, I'm not sure how that works. About the 1st of February.
That's pretty early. Oh, it might not be down there, but that would be like suicide up here.
Hey,
Hey,
Shane. Yeah, because I know that Hardeman's bees, they start grafting around Valentine's and all.
Yeah.
All right, there's Icy or Sandy. She's on your chat now.
Yep.
Sandy, does
anybody that's coming through Charlie simulcast, like and subscribe. Every little bit helps, please. If you're coming in through me.
Yeah, subscribe to Bill's channel, which he has every Monday night, and I help him out, and then he comes on mine.
Yeah, doing this alone is kind of hard to do.
Hey, Dean. But yeah, that's so basically you're gonna. So let's see. So Rick, so now you're going to make splits in February to, I presume, sell nukes up in Kentucky, or to grow I mean, I know that you got about 1,600 hives. Are you going to replenish some dead outs, or all the above type of stuff? And all. So
and
let's say,
here's a follow-up question, Rick. How do you decide which hives are going to split, and how many of them do you split?
But it rained this morning, not hard or nothing. It just showered. And we did a lot of stuff on the inside of the buildings today. Brother, he was sick, so he went home, and I had some pine flooring to make for a guy. Hey, Shane.
You do any rough cut lumber?
Yeah, I mean, I have green lumber, which as far as rough cut. Then I have the dry lumber. I had a guy come in, he said, put an addition on like a mobile home trailer or something like that. And I said, my pine's soft, but he really didn't care. So he said, things are going to get tore up anyway.
Yeah.
So I just took this pine that I get in and tongue and grooved it and Rick's saying, do you plan to get out in Knoxville? Yeah, I agree with you, Tom. Shouldn't be pine, really, but that's what the guy wanted.
Yeah, we're going out in the evenings, Rick, in Knoxville. Are you coming to the No Life Beekeepers dinner?
I think he's not. He's down in Florida.
Okay.
Mostly for nuke sales. Okay.
Yeah, that makes money.
Now, see, Rick was down at Hive Life a couple years in a row.
Okay.
We didn't get much, Mike. It just showered slightly. I mean, no really heavy downpours or anything like that. I think tomorrow evening is when I'm supposed to really get a lot more rain. Yeah, Sandy, I'd like for you to come.
Yeah.
But and everything. But
yeah, we're supposed to get rain tomorrow evening too.
Yeah, it's coming in, but it was a light shower. Luckily, it quit in the afternoon because I had to open the doors up, and I was planing some lumber this afternoon, some maple that I had bought, and it has to go from basically you're feeding from one open door to the other open door, running to the machine. You'll have to go next year, Sandy, for sure. Well, actually, 2026.
Yeah.
Yeah, Mike, we didn't get much. Not a whole lot. Just make plans and say you're going to go.
Exactly.
I think the date is possibly going to change. It'll get off of this New Year's weekend. Not that it doesn't matter much to me, but it's a lot of, logistics wise, it does.
I'm in a bit of a Bob situation. Okay.
Okay. It's got Alzheimer's type of thing.
West Cliff Honey Company. 5 inches of snow on the ground. Another 3 to 5 expected tonight.
That's John out there in Colorado.
Wow. So I had an interesting visit today.
Yeah.
A gentleman from Hive IQ came by the store. And
that's the owner or what?
No, it was the operations manager for the United States operations manager.
Mm-hmm.
And, he said, "I'd like to leave you a hive to demo." I said, "Okay." So he left me a hive and a stand and all that good stuff. So you'll see it at the queen rearing class. It'll be set up with bees in it.
I looked at that, and it's a polystyrene.
Yes.
With, I'll say, plastic edging.
Yep.
Or I seen a video I watched on how you set it up, and it's got finger joints like that. And what else was it? You had to put the side rail protectors on, and then you snap the ones on the ends and all that stuff.
Yep.
And I liked it because it did have handles on the side of the box, or at least handle gripping areas. But I think it did.
Yeah, it does.
Kind of reminds me of license. I had that one license.
Yeah.
And all that. And yeah, they all come together and stuff of that nature.
But it's a true I can't think of the name of it now. Builds a heat dome at the top, just like the Enel.
Yeah, it's a condensing hive type of thing.
Yeah, condensing hive. But my issue is if the water builds up at the top, it's got no way to get rid of it. It's
No way.
either going to drip the water. There's no vents other than the bottom board being open. There's no way to ventilate it to keep the moisture down in it.
Well, with a condensing hive, you don't ventilate the top anyway.
And you can't scrape the insides clean. You're right, Mike. You can't do that with that, because if you do, you'll ruin the integrity of the hive when you do that. So I told him I'd set it up in the apiary. He was more than happy to come look at it anytime he wanted to. So I've got 2 apiaries to build this winter. I've got the big one here at the house, the new apiary, then the small apiary at the store. I'm going to put 2 wooden hives, 2 Enel hives, or 3 wood, 2 Enel, and then this Hive IQ hive. So I'll have 6 hives at the store. So
yeah, it's just I don't know. I looked at the build, and it's just like with all of them. Like I said once before, I said, "How are you going to vaporize them? They don't have anything built into them." If I'm going to spend that kind of money for that kind of stuff, hey, Todd,
they do have a really good stand, though. It's stainless steel with steel legs, and it'll hold 2 hive boxes.
Yeah, real tight.
Yeah, they're real tight. It's maybe 2 inches between them, if that. But it's a really nice hive stand. So
That's good, Todd, that you got 21 cases, 8 tabs sold. I know that Tom, yeah, I didn't know whether you're listening in, but Bill that he had to they already ate what he had put in and had to resupply his hives with them. I can see when I simulcast on the StreamYard side.
StreamYard goes to your YouTube.
Yeah. It doesn't go to your YouTube channel.
No,
You can use the rubber insulator that Larabi's makes and put it on the end of the tube.
Yes, you can do that.
Yeah, but see, I don't know. You would think that they would make a port either in the roof or in the back of the hive, because I don't like blowing smoke in the front of the hive. I like to close all that up.
Yep.
And none of them have that.
Yeah, I said, Tom, I sell the Larabi, and yes, you can do that. But if you leave that insert in the hive, you got to put something in the hole. That's true.
Yeah, that's true.
Until that styrofoam gets weak and it degrades, and it won't hold the machine anymore. Then you got to stand there and hold it. Well, the
John wants to know,
Apiary,
Appy Versa, is that thing that Cayman was talking about?
the Apiary device.
Yeah,
You
that's
look
that.
that up.
That was on Saturday night's show. That's what I do, Sandy. Yeah, that's what John says. No, I think number one, I looked, Fred Dunn talked to them guys out in Texas show. And then I looked it up and it's a huge outfit. And, they don't have anything with EPA done yet. And I'd say it'll probably be 2 years or more.
Yeah, if they don't have the money right away to get the label done, it's going to be a while.
Yeah, I would say it a while. And then, you're talking about a big, huge thing that it's as big as a vacuum cleaner. It seems like to me with a hood and all that stuff. I'm like, nah,
Yeah.
not doing that. I don't look for it to be a replacement at most any time. He's playing the same game with Abby tablets with the fact that they've got a product that is a supplement, I'll say. And it happens to kill mice along the way. But they don't have a convenient delivery device. And Todd says it takes 5 to 6 minutes to operate. Well, that's just trying to get it. And you got to take the hive apart, put this thing on top of the dome and everything.
Yeah, that's no.
And
That's going to be a while.
No, I don't think they got to come up with a better delivery. It's just like us. I mean, we started out 10 years ago or more, and you had a pan burner and and it runs on electricity, which you got to have a generator. And you had a pan burner, a car battery on a hand truck. And it'd take you 10 minutes per hive in order to put some smoke up in the hive. Hey, Larimore Barnes. And Keith. Keith and Todd and who else on here? You're coming in on my side of the chat if you want to. And Mike, Minnesota Mike, you're coming in on my side of the chat because I'm simulcasting Bill's Bees All Day chat.
I'll repost the link.
Yeah, Bill can repost a link to his site. You can subscribe to his site. Just trying to boost his subscribers because since he has Monday night shows at 8:00, there it is in the chat. If you want to go ahead and subscribe and then come in on that side.
Yep.
But
subscribe when you get there.
Yeah. But here we've came from that point. And then I looked it up. I believe it's been 8 years ago. I bought my ProVap. And I think it was right after Obama legalized OA. And then they brought that into the country. And I bought one of those and I still got it. And then here comes Larabi was trying to create something. Yep, Keith, you're in. You're right. You're on the page. And then he got hooked up with the guy that makes the InstaVap over in Hungary or someplace over there, and which is more of a game changer and good unit. And so we've come a long way, and it took us somewhere around 10 years, you might say. in order for people to develop these different tools for us. And now he's come out with, you got the original InstaVap, the compact, and now the mini. I've seen, I think it was Barnhill Bees. He bought one of the minis. Good for people that's got 3 or 4 hives. And so, I don't think it's going to, that thing. Hey, Nancy.
Hi, Nancy.
And all that. Nancy had a good weekend selling honey, I seen on Facebook. That's great. And so I think, it's going to be a while. And I think they're going to have to try to figure out, what would you call it? A better delivery system.
Yeah.
Thanks, Mike. I just, that's why I wanted to simulcast, let everybody know about bills and everything.
Thank you all for coming into my channel. I appreciate it.
Well, that's Mike D's LLC. Okay, now I had to look at my notes here. That's Mr. Easy Ox Bow OA treatment tablets, man.
Okay. Whatever happened to DCBs? I haven't seen him in a while.
I haven't seen him. So I know Mike's going to be out at Nobby in his vendor slot or whatever, and then Bill's going to be there.
What's your booth number, Mike?
Mm-hmm. 408. Are you close to your what's yours?
I'm on 430. He's right around me somewhere.
Yeah, but Keith, you can buy a mini. The guy that I watched his video, I think it was on sale right now for $300, $299.
Yeah, it's on sale for $299.
I think it's $299, and it also, I didn't know this. I didn't, because I never looked at it. It actually will take like a 2 amp hour battery.
Yeah, it takes a smaller battery to run it, and that smaller battery will last longer than it does on the compact and the old one.
Now, I presume if you put a 5 amp on there, that thing will last for quite a long time.
Oh yeah, you can treat all day with that.
Well, for $299, I don't know whether is that a Nobby special?
Yeah, they're running it as a Nobby special, and you got to order it directly through Larabis.
Yeah. So there you go, Keith. You can become a modern beekeeper with a modern tool. I just see folks out there that, are still using a pan, and I'm like, there's so much better technology out there. And, speed is a big thing. Keith says DC is going to be missing for a week or 2 or so. Where's he at?
Somebody said he got a new video game.
Okay. Yeah, I seen Keith on Facebook and had his half track in the Christmas parade. Well, that's pretty good there, Keith, that somebody else is coming and treating him for you.
Yeah.
Yeah, Nancy, I'd say the same thing as far as, I mean, because of the instant VAP, I mean, ProVap had to come out with a battery operated machine.
Yep, they did.
All right. John said you can get it for $275 at Nobby for pickup.
Oh, okay.
Can't beat the price. I mean, I can remember when Varrock Swans were $150 now. I don't know what they are now, $50 maybe. They ain't worth nothing to me. And all that. Hey, Keith, on that there half track, do you have rubber pads between the cleats on that thing so you don't tear up the streets when you're running it? Oh, all right. I didn't know that. I thought that so they had rubber tracks back in World War II? I thought that was a modern thing on these new skid steers.
I did too.
Hey, Russell Koopman and Minnesota Mike, you want to, if you scroll the link up, you can go over to, I don't know where it's at now. Go to Bees All Day YouTube channel and subscribe. Hey, hey, Grayson. Same to you also, Grayson. There's a link on the YouTube side there. It's called Bees All Day YouTube channel.
It's in the chat.
It's in the chat now. You can click on that and go right to Bill and subscribe so you can get a direct connection. Am I ready for some real winter this week? Yeah, it's all of about 50 and 60 degrees.
Yeah.
A little bit of rain today. Last week, we actually had a little bit of winter, about 27 at night and 33, maybe hitting a 40 once in a while last week. I took advantage of that, and I'll see if I can move it. That yellow hive doesn't have a beehive behind it. Now it does. I moved a nuke from one end of the racks all the way down to almost to the end. So they stayed in their nuke for about 7 days, lost their memory. And then when they came out yesterday, they, I guess you might say, reorientated to what they, new location.
Keith, you need to put a picture of your half track on your Facebook page.
That's his bee vehicle.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're supposed to do something Thursday. I think a bunch of rain. Are you going to get a lot? I mean, I guess out there, Sandy, you're going to get a lot of snow, maybe.
Yeah, all we're going to get is rain.
And then it's supposed to be another windy. That's my biggest fear is wind. Snow. Yeah, I've heard that, Russell, on the thing, but it didn't sound like to me. You know how the weather people are. They like to make it dramatic. It's just like out there at Sandy. Here in Baltimore, Sandy was supposed to have a blizzard out there. And I think, Sandy, you said they had all of maybe 6 inches. I know my friend Pam was out there close to Philippi, West Virginia, and they said they had 6 inches in 2 days. It was gone. I mean, the ground was totally bare and all that. All right, Mark's on your channel. Wildwood's on your channel.
Yep, he subscribed. Thank you.
Yeah, about 6 inches. I mean, what do you call what is the classification for a blizzard? Now, when I was growing up, a blizzard was about 4 feet.
Yeah, really.
Hey, our autumn barb. I don't know what that is.
She's local to me. She's right around the corner. Hey,
Mhm.
Autumn.
All right, Wildwood's on there. Grayson. He's out of, I don't know, right, Alabama or something. Grayson is out of Alabama. Hey, James. Nothing much, James. Go ahead and drop that link again, Bill.
All right.
James, go ahead and click on it's going to be in the chat here in a minute. It's Bill's channel. I'm simulcasting it for him. That way, maybe you can come on in and give us an update and see what's happening up in Alberta, Canada. There it is, James. YouTube.com. Watch, and then a bunch of numbers. Bees all day. Click on that and come on over to the other side, if you would. Come on in and let me know what's going on. I know it's probably snowing up there. Thank you, Hillbilly Beekeeping. Let me see if I got you on my list. And I don't.
So, Nancy, did you get any more answers to your questions you asked the other night?
Hi, Dodd House.
Hey, JT, Kathy, how are y'all tonight? George from Iowa Lands Beekeeping. It's in this chat. If you just scroll through it, you'll see it. If you want, I can repost it.
Go ahead and repost it.
Let me see if I can do this. Paste. There it is again.
So,
Wow, 2 and 3 feet. I haven't seen 2 and 3 feet of snow in years.
good night, Sandy.
Hey, Clipping queens. Yeah, let's talk about that. How many of you out there clip your queens? Sounds like Nancy does. Come on in here and join us.
Yes, Mark, are you on Bill's channel yet? Mark's in the truck. I'm sure he's driving truck right now.
Yeah, I'm sure he is too.
Well, don't be talking about no blizzards. We want to all go to Nobby.
Tom, if you get a blizzard out there, you can keep it.
I don't clip queens. I mean, I hardly mark my queens a lot of times. And all that. But
There you go.
Hey there, Matt. I know Matt's probably truck driving too. There comes
Hey,
Mark.
Mark.
Hi, y'all.
How you doing?
I'm good. I'm on break.
All right.
Well, that's
Cool.
a good thing.
Yeah, just had me some meatloaf, mashed potatoes. Now I'm ready for bed.
Where you at now?
I'm
What
in
state?
Clarksville, Arkansas.
Arkansas.
Yeah, I got to get up in the morning, run out there to Fort Smith, pick up a truckload of chili, and go back to the house.
Yeah, that's a dangerous load, truck full of chili.
Yeah.
Let's see. I just hold on, Mark. I want to. Yeah, Matt Morris, go ahead and if you can drop that link again, Bill. Go to Bill's link and log into his channel and subscribe. That way you go right when he gets you.
There
There it is. It's already in there. Click on that, and then you can switch over to the other side and come in on the chat if you'd like. He's in Corning, New York, up in Tom. Yeah, I've been there. I've been up that way. Yeah, up to
Yeah,
Corning.
I've been through Corning.
Subscribe. That way you go right when he gets you. There it is. It's already in there. Click on that, and then you can switch over to the other side. Tom, you gotta turn me off. Come in on the chat if you'd like.
So you got an IT specialist on your side, Charlie.
Corning, New York. Tom.
Hey.
Yeah, I've been there. I've been that way. Yeah, up to and that's the smart. I don't think it's smart. You're still hearing back or hearing the other chat.
Hey, Nancy.
It ain't me, Charlie.
I know it isn't you. It's Tom. He's got to turn off the YouTube side.
I got it. There's my phone.
Oh, is that what it was? Okay. Hey, Nancy.
Yeah, I was really busy working on Christmas fudge, so I couldn't get on right away.
That's cool. What do you buy me?
I make a fudge that everybody loves.
Okay.
Well, you
Secret
know
recipe.
you've got to bring some of it to Nobby.
Ooh, okay, I'll try.
Because
Yeah,
that's
bring
your tax.
it to the dinner.
That's your
Yeah, I'll bring
tax.
it to dinner. That's a deal.
So Nancy, you there?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yeah,
I'm trying to shut off. Yeah, I'm trying to shut off the other one.
Okay. Yeah, you're low volume.
Did it? Oh, okay. Here we go. All right. How's that?
Okay. Still kind of low.
Well, you know what? I have my I have headphones on. Let me take them off.
Okay. Mark's okay. Yeah, Matt. Morris.
No.
There you go.
Yeah, we hear you now.
Yeah, we can
Okay.
hear you.
All right, you and Mark.
I don't have my camera on because I'm ready for bed.
Okay.
But yeah, Mark would talk about clipping queens if you want to. I mean, I don't know.
Yeah, I was
What do
just
you wanna talk
wondering if
about?
anybody clipped queens besides me, to kind of help with swarming and all, they'll still crawl out the front of the box, but it does help.
Yep. Yeah, you find them on the ground. Or
Yeah.
I've already found. I think I found some kind of a little up. Maybe I didn't get her. Maybe I got one wing not quite as short as I should have, but I think I found some like 3 feet up a small tree. So, but yeah, I've been clipping them for a couple years now. I mark them and clip them and mark them.
Yeah. Does it seem to help you with your swarming?
Oh yeah, swarming is a whole different. Yeah, because now when I find a swarm in my apiary and it's not clipped or marked, I know it's not mine. So the guys around here always want to give me a hard time, but I can tell them, take a
Right.
picture. This is not mine.
Yeah.
Just let me butt in here. Mike's Bees LLC. I know you're going to be there. I have a dinner on the 1st at 6:00 in the evening. A lot of the folks in this chat are coming. I didn't know whether you knew about it. I'm going to go ahead and drop the link to it. You need to get your free ticket so we know how many people are coming. And as far as I know, we only have 4 tickets left. And
I know it's close.
it's close because Dirt Rooster got 4 of them.
Oh,
He got 4 tickets so he could scalp them.
Hey, Tom.
No, he
tickets you
did.
got?
Huh? That's what he said on the Saturday. He was going to scalp them.
Scalp 'em.
He's a goofball.
no fudge for the Dirt Rooster, for Randy.
Yeah. Yeah, it's January 1st, 6 p.m. to 9 p.m. It's at a pizza place that's got wings, and well, then go ahead and get them. Go ahead, Mike.
Yeah,
Click on in there and sell it out.
Get the last 4.
Get the last 4.
There you go. That way it's sold out.
That's sold out, but also there's an expansion area from the rest of the
Yeah.
restaurant that people can if they're coming, they just can't get into the room. All right, Tom, Melissa said there's 4 tickets left. Now, Mike, click on that thing right now and grab them.
Yep.
And all that. And then you bring some hot honey with you too. And
Yeah.
we'll be doing a honey exchange there at the dinner. They have for sale, they got pizza, they got wings, they got beer, they got sandwiches of some sort. Melissa, right in where it's located. It's right there close to the hotels.
Yeah.
I don't know. I have to look at myself.
The link will give you the name of the place, and then all you can do is search that, and you can get a map.
It's right on that main road. That's on the
It's on the
shoot. That would be the east side of the conference.
Yeah.
The loading side. I don't know the name of that road.
It's along the interstate, the road that.
Click on the link, Mike.
Mike, do you see the link? What under Sawmill, Charlie's Bee Farm, Everbright.com?
Preston Road.
Is that what it is?
He might not. He might be on your Bill's
No,
side.
he's on
He's on mine now.
it's at the
Craft House Pizza.
Craft House Pizza on Preston Road. Yeah, I know you're on Bill's now, but scroll down, Craft House Pizza. Let me go ahead and put it in the chat again.
Let me see if I can
See
find
it
it.
in Bill's.
And can you put it on there? Maybe that's the problem. They can't see it because I put it on there or something. I don't know. I see
Yeah,
it on there.
I'll put it in this chat. Hang on,
Oh.
Mike. It takes me a minute to type it in.
Hey, Mark.
Yeah, Nancy.
What I started doing a couple years ago was with the marking, I use a light colored, like we're going into the blue now.
Uh-huh.
This year's coming up, it's going to be blue. So I'll mark my queens, my early spring queens. Say whatever happens, they overwinter. You know, they got the overwintered queen early, and then her daughter's running around, or whatever the situation. My new queens, I always do the light color, like the light version of the color, so they'll be light blue. And then I do summer solstice queens because I don't do queen breeding. I just let them. I'm all just open mating. So then any queens that come back mated after the summer solstice, I'll turn them dark blue. So within the year, I kind of have an idea of what time of the year those queens are from.
Right. That's a
Yeah.
good idea.
Nancy, I like that idea because I have queens that are spring queens and I have summer solstice queens.
Yep.
That's a
Yep.
good way to
And
tell the difference.
Yeah, and I kind of did it by mistake one year. I ended up with a light green, or no, here it was I had a pink, and then I had a pink pen, and I didn't get a red pen until later in the summer. So my springs were pink, and then I had red queens. I thought, so the next
Gotcha.
year I bought a light colored, like a fluorescent green, and then like a forest green. So I did it again that year, and now this would be, I guess, the third year. But as far as those color queens, I'd really like to see them get rid of yellow. Yellow is just not a good color to mark a queen.
Yeah.
I like them to turn that into either purple or pink, like, because we don't have pink or purple pollen or anything pink or purple in the hive, like blue and green, So it's easy once you mark the queen, then you can find her real quick. But that yellow, boy, that fouls me up.
Yeah,
But
they
I
need
don't
to
know
get
who
rid of
to.
the blue and the green too.
Hmm.
They need to change the blue and the green to a brighter color.
Well, you can use like fluorescence. So I just use a Marquee Sharpie paint pen from Walmart. They're
Yep.
a couple bucks, and they usually come in like a fluorescent. You can get them in like a fluorescent, and then a darker shade of green, blue, or whatever color you want.
Yep.
So
Hey, Mike, that link is in the chat.
Nancy, do you get a fine point? Or I know they come in several different things there.
I
The
usually
points of
just
them.
go with the medium. I
Okay.
usually just go with the medium because the fine, I'm a little worried that it's too fine, and then if
Right.
you might hurt her.
Yeah.
If you're because there's especially those young ones, they're get squirrely. I mean, if
That's for
if
sure.
I don't drop her twice, I didn't do it right. So, but and they
That's
fly
the reason
around.
why I asked Nancy about the clipping queens per se.
Mhm.
I've not done that, but I've gotten breeder queens that are clipped, and this year I'm picking my own breeder queens that I want to raise, and I clipped them back earlier when I decided which ones I wanted. And I'm seriously thinking about going through and just clipping all of my new queens that I'm keeping. Just have them all clipped.
Oh yeah, it's really it's nice. I mean, it keeps you organized, and then they're not going anywhere, and then you can figure out what you want to do with them once you get them in a box. If you miss your swarm management, and some of them get away, it's saved me quite a bit.
What do you do when you run out there and they're swarming? Are they just all on the ground, balled up, or what do you usually run into in that situation?
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, I got some I get some in the trees, but they're only 3-4 feet off the ground.
Wow.
And then some of those might be a queen that wasn't clipped quite as, as much as you should have taken off. Because I just clip them once, one side, and then let them go, and maybe, some aren't as short as they could be, but I think they help her. I think they lift her too, because again, 3-4 feet, up in a small tree, or they're just mounded on the ground. There's just a pile of them on the ground, and then I just put a frame over top of them. I put a frame of gold wax on top of the swarm that's on the ground or in the tree, and then they all climb on that, and then I shake them in or get her on, and then they'll all just go in. But I use draw and comb a lot when I'm getting swarms off the ground or from a low branch.
That makes sense.
And then you always pull a queen, always. And I've never moved a swarm off my property, or even a nuke. I've never moved them. They just get put 2 feet away from the other hive, because I put in a frame of eggs and larvae from just any other hive I have, and it always keeps them. They always stay.
Right. That's exactly what I do, Nancy. Same thing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Right, same
I
thing.
just, yeah, they told us to move them 2-3 miles. I thought that's nonsense. I mean, I just thought that's just, why would I do that? And where am I going to do that? How would I do that? And I just figured, and then learned pretty quick that you just put, eggs and larvae in. And I think I had one leave when I did that.
Nancy, I learned
And
that about 20 years ago. It's an old wives' tale.
yeah, yeah. Well, no, they're still teaching here to move them. To move, like the first year beekeeping, I took, well, it was 8 years ago now, but and you'll still hear people talk to new beekeepers about moving them off the property. And I'm just like,
Yeah.
why are we still repeating that?
Yeah.
Well, it goes back to the education. If you got traditionalists teaching the class, or if
Yeah.
you've got a not really experienced beekeeper teaching a class, then they're just going to parrot what they're taught.
Or an old bee, or one that's like been teaching for 20-30 years. That's the other issue, is they
Yes.
just teach the same curriculum, without
Over and
thinking about
over and
things
over and
changing.
over and over again. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's not updating it.
Hey, Ian.
Like those sugar shakes and stuff. That
Yep.
should just get wiped out of the books. I mean, I just
Yep.
I don't teach my mentees that at all. I don't teach that.
Believe it or not, it's still in beekeeping curriculums
Yeah.
throughout the country.
I don't know who. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so Nancy, I have a question for you.
Sure.
When you clip your queens, how do you go about doing that? How do you hold the queen?
So I'm gloveless. I don't use gloves. And I will I just pick her up. Sometimes they're running pretty good, but I just pick her up, and then if I try to get her facing, like, so I'm right-handed, I try to get her in my left hand between my index finger and my thumb, get under her wings. You want to clip her wings first, because you don't want to mark her and then clip her, because but you clip her first and then you mark her, and then I just hold her a little bit, maybe wave her a little bit, and then I put her right back in, and she goes down in the hive. You just hold them with your
Okay,
fingers.
yeah,
You
I'm
can't do
thinking
gloves.
about clipping my queens.
Do it.
Yeah.
Just make sure
Yeah.
you got a sharp pair of scissors.
My apiary. Yeah, I got some just for it. But my apiary, I'm kind of in the woods, and my hives are in an opening where they get about 8-9 hours of sun. But these woods I'm in have about, I don't know, 40, 50 foot tall trees. And so every
Mhm.
time I lost a swarm this last 2 years, it goes, 35, 40 feet up. There's no way for
Yeah.
me to collect it.
Yeah. What? Yes.
Then you'll
When you
call
start
that.
clipping your trees, it's a different experience going down there, and I mean, you try to do as much queen, management as you can, but you're not
Yeah.
always going to catch them.
If you
I
ask
had a
around, there's a lot of people that just will not do that. They just won't do it. And I don't think it hurts anything.
no,
Now,
Didn't
yeah,
no.
it's going to may keep them from swarming and, being in your area. But the odds of you keeping that queen may be greater, I think. Keeping her in your apiary, in other words, what I'm trying to say. Like what you
Yeah,
said, they fly up 3 or 4 feet, and you walk out there
yeah,
and you can get her, and you've still got
hmm
her
Yeah.
now.
yeah,
So,
And if you're out there every day, they'll be on the ground 90% of the time.
right,
yeah, yeah. And then they're real easy. You just lay a frame on top of them, and they'll crawl right on it. But yeah, I mean, and then I just put her in another box, and then let the box, the hive that either has the new queen in it or the new queen emerging shortly or whatever they're doing. I let them do their thing, and then I got my hive without climbing a tree.
right.
You know something ironic though? I don't even think most people even mark their queens because last year I caught 26 swarms. I think the year before that was 15 or 18. I think it was a dozen the year before that. I've never caught a swarm that had a marked queen in it, except for my own, but I don't count those. And I catch them from all over the
Yeah,
greater Cincinnati area,
yeah. I don't think I've
northern
ever
Kentucky.
caught a marked queen either.
I mean, I catch them in Indiana, northern Kentucky, all over the place.
I mean, like you said, my own marked queens, but not the others that came in. I can tell the way they come into my property that they're not mine because they come
Right.
in from the east. They come in from the east side high, and they're coming in too high. I can tell they're not mine. Then they land down, and
I've watched quite a few of them fly into my place, over my
hmm
barn or over my trees.
yeah, because when mine take off, they light up, they go up, and then they cross over a 53-acre field. The farmer that's next to me. When mine go up, well, before I clipped, now they would go up and across. I had no chance of getting them. So
Right.
I started clipping, I guess, 3 years ago, and it's just a world of difference. I have less swarming, period, but then when they do want to get going, I can catch them. So
Right.
So, is it a time saver, do you think, Nancy? Is it saving you time overall once you get it
yes.
done?
Oh, yeah, to have her clipped and marked, it takes no
Yes.
time at all. It's quick,
Right.
but
Once you
yes,
get that
well,
done,
it
is
saves
it helping you throughout the swarm season? Is it saving you time, do you think,
almost.
overall now?
But most definitely, it'll save me
Good.
time and money because now instead of losing that swarm, I have her back and she's building up. And I get more honey, because I have
Right.
more hives. So I
Right.
didn't lose her to the trees, So, but yeah, marking them once you get the once you get it down, and having that marker in your mouth and pulling the lid off and then dropping the lid and then the marker, and you get your system. You get a system.
Yeah.
Yeah. You can even catch your own queen. Go into that hive she came from. If there's any queen cells, knock them all down and put that queen right back in there in the bees. and they think they still swarm.
Really?
Yeah, I don't. I take advantage of them knowing that they need to split. I let them continue with their split, and then
Yeah.
I don't want to fight. I don't want to try and fight what they're already 3/4 of the way through doing.
Yeah,
That
but
makes sense.
when you don't want to expand your operations, just keep the same amount of hives. That's one way you can do it.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Or just if you miss them, you miss a couple cells.
Yeah, that seems to be my problem, Tom. I don't have a problem expanding. I have a problem
I don't
staying
plan to
where I'm at.
expand hardly anymore.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Hey, Mike,
yeah.
go ahead and
Maintaining is hard.
Mike, check your messenger account. I sent it that way to you.
It's on the screen now here too.
All right. Mike is still back on my chat.
I wish I could figure out how to see the chat box. When I click on it on this window here on the StreamYard, it doesn't come up. Or I can't see
Yeah.
the StreamYard. I can only see the chat.
Go to comment. Comment. It's at the top. There's private and then there's comment.
All right. I just put it in I finally figured out how to get on my YouTube side. I put it in the chat. See if you can click on it there.
So anyway, I was stung by a queen. I was stung by a queen once. And it was extremely painful. It was very, very painful.
I've never
Never
been
been
stung by a
stung
queen.
by a queen yet.
Neither.
I had picked her up and dropped her 3 or 4 times, and she was having enough of it. And then I finally got her, and I had her, like, her abdomen was right by where my thumbnail is, where my thumbnail meets my thumb. And she went right in the soft part there. And man,
Yeah.
that was like electric. It was an electric shock.
I've never
Felt
been
like.
stung by a queen, but now most of them I handle are young. They're real young.
Well, this
Got
is when I
same deal
start.
for the
Well,
most part, Mark. In fact, most of mine are virgin queens.
Yeah.
you're marking virgins?
Well,
You're
I make
marking
virgins
virgins?
all the time. Yep.
Oh, I try not to do that.
It
I
doesn't
try not to
bother the
mark
mating.
them.
That's a myth that people that say it bothers the mating flights.
It don't bother them at all.
Yeah.
No.
I'm not saying I never did it. I did. I clipped the queen. I clipped the wing of a virgin already.
That's
That's
not
a dumb
good.
thing to do.
Yeah.
I was so excited. I thought she overwintered. I thought she was an overwintered queen, and then I realized after I clipped her, it hit me. I thought, "Oh no, she was a virgin." So
Yeah. Now she's a virgin for the rest of her life.
Yeah. She'd be a good
So I put
drone
her back
layer
in
in
the box.
a mating box.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
Matt, you know you can practice all of this on a drone, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. I think I'm gonna have to do that
Yeah. That's a good way to do it. Just practice picking up
because
drones.
I mark all my queens, but I use a queen catcher, a one-handed queen catcher. So I think I'm gonna have to practice handling these on drones before I try to do it to a queen.
And then once you get real
That's
good
a
at
good
the
idea.
drone, once you get real good at the drones, try picking up a worker.
Yeah.
You
Really?
have a decapper. Your queen catcher is the decapper catcher, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it has a slide
just-
on it that closes.
Yeah. my one friend uses that. She's 10 years and she still can't pick up a queen. Would you don't wear gloves, right?
I do.
All right. Well,
I do wear gloves.
yeah. Well, you're gonna have to get comfortable and ditch the gloves for a couple months before. Then the best way to do it really is.
I graduated from leather gloves to nitrile gloves, so I'm baby steps.
Yeah. So
and hopefully
now,
this year I'll be able to ditch the nitrile gloves.
Yeah, so spring is the best time because they're all happy. Everyone's got, love in the air and unicorns, and it's great. So ditch your gloves early in the season. Use Vicks Vapor Rub on your hands until you're comfortable with feeling the frames and the bees under your fingers, and that'll help you transition. And then before you know it, you won't even be grabbing for the Vicks Vapor Rub. You'll forget it.
What's the Vicks Vapor Rub for?
It keeps the bees away from your hands. They don't like the smell of it. Peppermint oil will do the same thing.
Okay.
Yeah, now you're gonna move at a much slower pace, and you're gonna be very intentional on where you put your hands and how you're picking up your frames and all that kind of thing. But the bees will move away from you, and it's not fast. It's not like when you smoke them and they run, but with the Vicks Vapor, they don't care for it, so they're gonna go the other direction.
Okay. Good tip.
And once you get used to picking up queens and drones and worker bees, then you start pushing bees out of the way with your finger, so you can pull frames out and stuff like that without being stung.
Yeah, one of the things I have trouble with is propolis getting on my fingers. And I'll go through a lot of queens in a day, okay, and I get propolis all over my fingers. So I started using the frame holder. But the problem with the frame holder is when I get it up here, I tend to let pressure off and then drop the frame.
Oh.
I want to come up with some way of grabbing the frame and locking it down just like you would a vise, where you squeeze it and it locks down, or you can just put it right on the frame, lock that down, and then you don't have to have steady pressure on that frame all the time. And I can pick the frames up and not get that propolis all over my hands, because then if I grab a queen, then she's stuck to my fingers.
Mark, I switched over to Caucasians / Carnies now, and man, you talking about propolis?
Yeah.
They really crank it out.
And you get it all over your hands, and then when you handle a queen, and you got that sticky all over you.
Yep.
And all over the queen.
Now, I have found that I can wash my hands, and my wife's got some stuff that she uses in the bathroom that's got Clorox bleach. And I spray that on my hands, and that propolis will come off, and then I'll dip it in a 5-gallon bucket of water and clean my hands real good and start over again. That's the only way I can fight it.
I just learned a trick just this week of how to keep the bees from putting propolis on your frames, on the rails of your frames. You burn them, burn the top of your frames, and it closes up the cells on the wood, and they won't put so much propolis on it. They won't touch it.
That'd be good on the ends right there where it sticks out,
Yeah, that's the hardest part. They'll still put some, but it won't be as much.
Right.
So James,
that's what he was telling me.
James Knowles says, Mark, they do sell. I guess you're talking about frame grabbers.
Yeah, something that would lock down where I could just grab it, because if you let off just a little bit, you're gonna drop that frame. With the way the frame holders that I've got, they're just cheap stuff,
James, where you can, if you got a link to wherever where you can buy this at, maybe it's like Man Lake or whatever.
Okay. Well, James
Yeah,
says
Dot House. Yeah, I'll be happy to see you too. Yeah, drop a.
Better Bee sells frame grabbers, but they don't lock. Blythewood Bee looks like it has one that locks. And
Mark, do you do any sort of mite wash? What do you use for a mite wash?
I just do an alcohol wash, but I use soap instead of alcohol.
Yeah, I think that will take you in when you're out in the field. If you have that blue one that holds the liquid in it, you can use that to get propolis off, or rubbing alcohol
Yeah.
in the field. You don't have to come up. You don't have to come in to get it. But I don't grab the edge of my frames like where the shoulders are. I use my tool to lift them up there, but then I go in 3 or 4 inches into the frame, or actually in the middle, and manipulate them from there. And those don't seem to have propolis on. They don't have them in the middle of the top
Right.
bar.
It
For
don't
me,
matter what
anyway.
I do, Nancy. I still get it all over me. I don't know why. It's just like when I paint, I wind up with it all over me. You know.
I wonder if I think somebody else used to use dry pollen sub. If you have a little jar of dry pollen sub, that takes propolis. It's like using like when you were making a cake, you use flour to get the butter off your fingers. Same concept. Have a little bit of dry pollen around, you can use that.
James says it's on Frederick Dunn, the Way to Bee review on the grabbers.
I'm putting some links in the chat right now. 2 links.
And I don't got the chat.
Blythewood. One's for Blythewood and one's for Rossman Apiary.
Okay. I'll remember that.
The ones at Blythewood are $34.95, and the ones at Rossman are $32.
Hope Sadler says the Rocky Mountain Bee Supply has one that locks.
Yep, I'm sure they do.
I think that'll help me right there. Just something that'll lock on instead of having
Mark,
to keep pressure on it all the time.
you can go to plastic frames. They don't propolize those either. That's one advantage of having plastic frames.
Hmm.
Well,
Hey,
it's too late
Grammy.
for that.
Yeah.
I'm starting to swap over to plastic whenever I buy
Yeah,
frames now. Just for
for
those
some reason-
occasions.
For some reason, I just don't like the way plastic frames look in a box. You open up the lid and it's just all black plastic. It just, I don't know. I like wood frames. Maybe it looks more natural. No real reason.
I think a lot of it depends on where you're at in the country. If you're down south where you got a lot of heat, you probably don't want plastic.
Yeah.
You're kind of mid-range. I think you can get by with it on up. But they get a lot of heat down south. That's hard on them.
Hey, Grammy, you're on my chat. You can switch over to Bill's chat. Just use the link I just dropped.
Hey guys, I'm going to hop off. I just wanted to get on for a little bit.
Good to see you, Tom.
All right, Tom. Good to see you.
later, Tom.
All right, later.
I don't use them at all. As far as spraying, I just use a J hook and let it go at that.
Yeah,
As far as doing plastic frames, I do all plastic. I don't know.
I do all plastic as well, but I'm gloveless as well, and you'll get used to feeling the bees with your pinkies when you go to pick the frames up. You'll get used to it, and you'll know when to put pressure on it, when not to put pressure on it.
So
they will let you know when there's too much pressure on them.
So they draw those plastic frames out just as good as plastic foundation with a wood frame.
If you take a wood frame and put it up to a plastic frame, the wood frame top bar is wider than the plastic one.
Yeah.
So when you put 10 plastic frames in a 10 frame box, there's more space between them. They will draw them out thicker. then they'll draw out a wood frame.
Now Rodney there down in South Carolina, he doesn't like them because they'll places for the beetles to hide and everything. Like,
Did you
you
have
know,
hive?
Yeah, I don't have too much of a hive
No, I don't have that
beetle
problem.
problem.
Yeah,
I don't know.
I have beetle problems.
Yeah, I don't have time to put frames together or anything like that.
Yeah.
As far as plastic, I mean, if you take an acorn plastic insert and put it in a wooden frame, what's the difference? It just is what's holding that plastic
It's
insert.
just all that's right. It's just what's holding it together.
Yeah.
Yeah, I suppose you're right.
All right, Tom's back on the time. All right, there she is. Grammy, go ahead and like and subscribe to Bill's channel so you can get a notification, if you would. Trying to build Bill's subscriber list up a little bit.
Where did Nancy run off to?
I don't know. She dropped
I
out.
don't know. She dropped out.
So I've been making some equipment last couple days. Made some migratory covers with 3/8 shims on them,
Right.
3/8 inch shims, and I'm gonna make a swarm box or two with a solid,
Yeah.
with a bottom attached to it, and with an opening that closes. How much ventilation should be in a swarm box? Because when you catch them, you gotta close them up. So
None.
should it be ventilated?
No, you don't want any light. No light.
Okay.
What are you making that out of?
Pine boards.
Okay.
Yeah, pine.
Yeah, I've got one made out of 3/8 inch plywood, and I've got one made out of pine. And the one I've got made out of 3/8 inch plywood has lasted longer than the pine one.
Yeah,
I don't know
I just
how
bought.
it's done, but it's done.
Yeah, I just bought 3/4 inch plywood for a project I was doing in my son's bedroom. I was building a rock wall for him, and that's good stuff. That stuff's pretty solid.
Yeah.
Yep.
But it'll work. It'll stay together. I mean,
Yeah.
glue it and screw it. It'll stay together.
Good coat of paint.
Yeah, real good coat of paint.
Yeah, I was wondering if the quality of paint mattered, or you just need to get a lot of layers of paint, a lot of coats of paint, or do you really got to go buy a high quality exterior?
No. And when we were painting hives, we were painting with barn paint. The oops paint you get from Lowe's or Home Depot, the barn paint, if somebody mixed an off color, that's what we would get. And it's cheaper. And most of it, it's either an off-white. When they screw it up, it's an off-white or a pure white that they've made a mistake on.
Well, I'm gonna get out of here, Bill. Matt.
All right, Mr. Mark.
I'm gonna call it a night. I gotta get up early.
Did you get your extractor?
I did. It should be on the way.
Cool.
All right, Mark.
All right.
Well, have a good night, buddy.
All right, Matt. Good to see you, bud.
You too.
Yeah.
Bill, you have a good one.
All right, man. You have a good one.
Tell Charlie I said later.
I will.
Where'd Charlie go?
He said he'd be back in a minute.
Oh, okay.
The other thing you got to remember when you start doing this, when you start trying to catch swarms, you do not need to put a lot of swarm lure inside of that box.
Yeah.
All you take that spray bottle and you just barely touch it. And then you put
Yeah.
a small spray on the outside and smear it with your thumb. And that's all you need. Because
Hey, Matt, check
Yes.
check out my YouTube. I just did one on how to make the easiest, cheapest swarm traps.
Okay.
And what color works the best? I mean, I catch 20 to 30, 20 plus swarms every year out of 8 traps.
Wow.
And they're cheap. No wood. Well, there is dowel pins to hold the frames. I use 18-gallon plastic totes, blue or purple ones.
Okay.
Bees love the color blue and purple. That long light zone, frequency zone of the color.
Yeah, I just got for $15. I picked up a gallon of exterior paint from Lowe's. Normally $54, but the color's terrible. It was a mist tint, and the color's like a violet purple color. Kind of looks awful, but I figured it was perfect for beehive, so I picked it up.
That's a good color.
Yeah.
So
Well,
if you want,
if you
go to Maccabees is my YouTube.
If you
Okay.
look over my shoulder, Matt, right there, blue,
Yep.
white, and purple. Those are my wooden hives.
Yeah.
All my swarm traps are that color blue.
Okay.
Yeah, I think
right now. Go ahead.
I bought like 8 blue. I think they're 18 or 19-gallon Rubbermaid totes, and bees just people say, "Well, it's plastic." Well, I catch 1 to 3 swarms in every one of them.
Wow.
I put it out.
So how do you close the entrance when you move them? You just put some tape over it?
I just put tape over it, duct tape.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I only see that's another thing I mentioned. I only make my entrance 3/8 of an inch high by about 1.5 inches wide. That's it.
Or you can take a hole saw and drill a hole in it.
Yeah.
And you can get the metal or plastic discs that can close that entrance that have a vent on them.
Yeah.
Yeah. That works too.
Yep.
So it's only like a 15-minute YouTube. It's not very long.
I'll definitely check it out.
All right, I'm hopping back off.
All right. Thanks, Tom.
See you,
Night,
Tom.
Yeah.
Mark said to tell you, hey, Charlie, that he would catch up with you later.
Yeah, I heard him. I was in the kitchen.
Okay. Roy's building 2-way pallets.
Two-way pallets. Okay. Dot house. His is brown. Camouflage.
Yeah, I've got a couple brown ones and a couple blue ones. The blue ones I use on the farm. The brown ones I use out, other places if I'm trapping out or trying to catch swarm somewhere else.
That's something I never really did. I just never, was not really out to do that, I guess.
I love free bees.
Yeah, well, I can always just make splits.
I can too, but
Yeah,
that's
it's fun
work
catching
involved in
swarms. I caught a swarm at my mother's house. The first year I started keeping bees, I put my Jester nuke box out with a frame of comb that I got from a neighbor at my mother's house, and within a week I had a small swarm in there.
Yep.
That was really cool. That first experience catching that swarm.
You know, believe it or not, when you put swarm boxes out, if you get scout bees that start coming to them, they will pace them off inside because the space that they're looking for is 40 liters to move that swarm into.
Yeah, that's why I'm making a swarm box, because I have a bunch of extra nuke boxes that I could put out, but I want to get something bigger.
Yeah. It needs to
Try to
be
get
about
bigger.
3 inches deep, 3 to 4 inches deeper than a nuke box, a deep nuke. And if you can put 2 or 3 frames of drawn comb in there, that's even more enticing to them.
Yeah, that's the plan. That's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna put it at the same spot where I caught the last one 2 years ago.
So where are you heading to now, Matt?
I'm heading back to Rochester. Every night when I finish my route, I drive back to Rochester because that's where I end my night.
Right.
That's some New York roads.
Yeah, I've been up on that road he's driving. It's rough as heck.
Yep.
Yeah, you guys can hear that?
Yep, I can see it in your face.
Sorry about that.
It's okay. New York needs to invest in their infrastructure a little bit.
Yeah, you would think they would. They tax the heck out of us enough.
Yep.
So what are you going up Interstate 86?
No, I got off 86. I'm on 390 now.
Yeah, I see 390. Close to Danville.
Yeah, I just passed Danville.
Okay.
That's a long day for you.
Yeah. I mean, my schedule is only 4 days a week, so I work 4, 11, 12-hour days.
Well, with being right next to the lake there, I guess Rochester's got a ton of snow with lake effect snows.
Yeah, we get a lot of snow. Right now, it all melted because today was 45 degrees. So it all melted today.
Yeah.
So I got a question for you, Bill, because you own a beekeeping supply store. When I'm building boxes, like, for example, that swarm box, what can I just use regular, like, 1.5-inch nails and glue to put that together, or do I really need like a staple gun or something like that?
No, you don't need a staple gun. I've never really, well, my grandfather used nails. We didn't have any choice because, you know, you could get a wood screw back then, but it wasn't very long unless you ordered them. And, but I use 2-inch drywall nails.
Okay.
And
You
I
say
put
drywall nails or drywall screws?
Excuse me, drywall screws, and I put a little glue on them.
Okay.
Before I screw them in. I'll cut the tip, just nip the tip off of it so it doesn't splinter the wood, and put a little glue on it and run them right in.
Yeah, I built a nuke box once, and I had these old cabinet screws that were left over from another project, and they were perfect for putting beehives together because they're 1.5, 2 inches long, but they're skinny. they're
Yep.
real skinny, and the teeth on the screw is kind of big, so it grips really good, but it's a real skinny screw going in. So
Yeah.
those cabinet screws work really well too, but they're real expensive.
So what kind of glue are you using?
So Type Bond 3.
Yep. That's the best kind of glue to use.
Yeah, Rodney says here he makes his boxes 6 to 8 frames wide and about 8-inch void under them, and then they can catch either large or small swarms.
Yeah.
Okay, so you want some space underneath those frames?
Yeah, minimum of 3 to 4 inches under the frames, because like I said, they're looking for that 40 liters of space is what they're looking for, and they do pace it off. So I don't ask me how they know it's 40 liters, but they know. So that's what they're looking for.
Yeah, but if you put, let's say, deep frames in there,
That's
And
what
then
you're
another-
putting in it, deep frame.
yeah, I mean, they ought to have enough space on, let's say, a 5 or 6 frame box.
Yeah, you only put 2 or 3 frames in,
Okay.
drawn out frames, and then because they're not going to be in there long enough to start drawing anything out from the ceiling unless they're prolific wax drawers. I had one that was in a swarm box for 3 days last year, and I had a heck of a mess because they just filled it with wax.
So you had a mess on your hand.
So I had a mess. So
I don't know. I think I'd, like you say, put a couple frames of drawn wax and maybe some foundation.
yeah, because it gives that queen a place to start laying, and as
Yeah.
soon as she can start laying, the better. So that means they're settled and they're going to stay there. They're going to stay on those frames. So you just move those 3 core frames to a hive box, and they'll stay there.
Roy wants to know what the better swarm lure is. I don't know.
You've got Swarm Commander, you've got the Enel Swarm Lure.
You got Bob's. I know that. I
Yeah.
tried that, and it works.
It's all the same
Okay.
formula, so it's all the same thing. It's just I've learned with Swarm Commander and Enel's Allure, you don't want to put a whole lot of it in the box because they won't go in. It's too strong. The scent's too strong.
What Swarm Commander is?
Yep, Swarm Commander and the Enel Allure, the little spray bottles. You just want to just barely touch it. So just
Isn't that more of a lemongrass thing?
it's got lemongrass oil in it, yeah. But there's other stuff in it too.
You know what I bought? I bought those capsules of Swarm Commander. I haven't really. I wanted to read it. I haven't read up on it, but I'm not sure how to use them. But it came in a package of like 6 or 8 capsules.
Don't use the entire vial in a swarm box because they won't go in it.
Well, how about like a Q-tip? I've heard that where you just kind of
Just
wipe
take
it.
Take that vial and break it open and put 1 drop in that swarm box. That's all you need.
Okay. Yeah, when I caught
And then
my first.
Take that swarm box and roll it up on its end near the entrance and put a 2 drops around the entrance and smear it around with your fingers. And that's all you need. That'll get the scent in the air.
Yeah, I used lemongrass oil for the first swarm I caught, just plain lemongrass oil. I used a Q-tip and I put a couple of drops on the top of the frame, the top bars of the frame, and then I put 1 by the entrance, and that was it. I think I watched a YouTube video about how to, bait your swarm trap. That's what they said to do. but I had success. But this year I didn't have time to get any swarm traps out, and I'm kind of disappointed in myself. So this spring I definitely am going to get some out.
Yeah, and I hate to say this, but if you know somebody that lives near you that's a beekeeper that is not interested in catching swarms, or somebody that is not a attentive beekeeper, we've got quite a few of those around here. People hang
Yep.
swarm traps all around them and catch their bees. That's another way to do it.
Yeah, I would love to put swarm traps on my property, but don't you have to move once you catch a swarm, don't you have to move it 2 miles or more to a new location? So say I caught a swarm in a tree on my property, I couldn't move it, 300 yards over to my apiary, right?
Why not?
Because they would all want to go back to where I caught them in the tree.
Nope. That
No?
scent of that queen is going to dissipate a lot faster than you think.
Okay. Well, maybe I'll put some up on my property then.
Because I
there's
catch
beekeepers around.
when I have swarms, I have a fence that's down in front of that line of beehives. They have picked out 2 posts in that fence line that they go to all the time when they swarm. So I know that if I'm driving down the road, all I got to do is look at those 2 posts, and if they're bigger than they're supposed to be, I have a swarm on them. And I go catch it, set up another box somewhere in the apiary, and put them right in the box. And if I get lucky, I'll find a queen, put her in the swarm trap, and they'll all go in.
Lisa wants to know how to save slum gum from. You froze some because that some of them molded. I don't know. I never saved any of it.
I don't save it.
Why would you want to save it to bait a swarm trap?
Yeah, I
You
give
can.
it smell.
Yep.
I have some wax that needs to be strained. I have a block of wax that has all the slum gum in it.
Yeah.
Yeah, Rodney
Yeah,
puts a little bit of spray in there with some swarm commander and any slum gum and old comb and coats the inside of the trap maybe with some wax.
Hey, Gary, maybe you can come teach my bees to fly in a straight line, because they go everywhere.
Oh, the beeline in bees, that's where you have that thing where you see where the bee's going so you know where they live at. I think it's what it is.
Yeah. But I've got a 27-acre field in front of mine. So I guess that's why it will go in a straight line.
Yeah, I would say put the swarms on the edge of a like you say, if you find where they're coming like those fence posts, I'll be putting one on top of each one of the fence posts.
Trust me.
And then
What's there?
And then, that kind of stuff. And all that. So
Yeah, I have a colony living in a tree that's on my property. They've been, I noticed them last fall, and they're still alive. So I'm sure they're going to swarm out of there soon. Yeah, I'm sure they're going to swarm out of there.
You might get 3 or 4 swarms a year out of that tree.
Yeah, I got to get a couple swarm boxes up on my property for sure.
And if you put it in the right place, they'll go right to it every time. Yeah, that's true, Gary. Make sure you have, and Matt, you're going to hang swarm traps on somebody else's property. Make sure you got permission, because you can get charged with trespassing.
Yeah, I
Even if
wouldn't
you're
do
driving
that.
down- Even if you're driving down the road and you see a swarm and you've got your stuff in your vehicle to catch it, you make sure you go get permission before you even attempt to catch that swarm.
Right.
Because we had that issue here a couple years ago. Somebody was driving down the road and saw a swarm on a fence post in one of our fields. It wasn't my bees, it was on one of the other farms. And they decided they were going to catch it. Well, they were fine as long as they were in the state right of way, but they crossed the fence. So now they were trespassing. And the post that he crawled over next to the swarm had a no trespassing sign on it. So
So whose ground was it?
ours.
Yeah. Okay.
So I let him finish catching the swarm, and I said thank you, and I took the bees. He says, "What do you mean?" I said, "You were trespassing. Now, if you want to give me the bees, I'll forget about it." I said, "But if you don't want to give me the bees," I said, "well, you can talk to the sheriff's office about it." $150 for a swarm trap. That's an expensive swarm trap.
Yep. Well, it's about
It's
10
a
o'clock.
bedtime. See if Matt comes back.
I don't know.
A plastic one. Okay. That
That's
makes
even-
sense.
Yep. We
I
lost
guess
it.
not. Well, I appreciate everybody coming in on Charlie's channel. Before you go, if you're on here, like and subscribe so you'll get notifications. And I do appreciate you coming on, and every little bit helps to move a little bit forward every week. So y'all have a good evening. Have a great week. We'll see you Friday night on Charlie's Chat. Good night.
Night.